afternoon, everybody. Martin Luther King Day in Colorado Springs, Colorado. With me is my great friend and business partner, Dr. Motor Chandler, Dr. MC. I'm Brett Derickson, and we're here to find out from people in our community what is the worst thing about public education and what is the best thing about public education going on in our community and across the country. What are you proud of for the American public school system, and what do you see as the biggest challenge facing American public schools?
Hmm. The thing I'm the most proud of is I think the high schoolers that I interact with, and then with my roommate being a teacher, I think that students, maybe more than when I was in high school, seem to be really comfortable with their teachers. And it seems like the kids that I interact with have good relationships with their teachers and they feel really supported by them. I know a lot of kids would be like, if I had a hard day, I could go to this teacher's classroom and they would be there for me. And so I think that's really cool to hear. What was your second question?
The biggest challenge facing public schools.
Mm. I think maybe one of the biggest challenges facing public schools is, and this is kind of just from having a lot of friends who are teachers, but it's just like sometimes the system, it can be so frustrating to teachers, I think like my mom was a teacher too for a lot of my life, and she was frustrated sometimes by like the admin feeling a certain way where all the teachers felt a different way. And her experience sometimes with like the Board of Education too is that they didn't have as hands-on of an experience in the schools as like the teachers did. And so that was always something that she was frustrated about too.
Well, Michaela hit on some of our bigger issues. Well, the public school system has been around for a long time. Everybody goes K through 12. What do you think you're most proud of with the American public school system, and what do you think is the biggest crack or the biggest problem facing American public schools?
Well, I don't. What I'm proud of within the American public school system now is the amount of resources for people of color, like the early college movement, which is where I got a big part of my start, and having first generation Mexicano students getting a degree, buying their parents a home, like that's what I'm proud of. To see them do, you know, the American dream. And that's what they're here for, not to take jobs, not to, they're just trying to be inclusive in the American dream so they can have what they see here, you know? One of the, and I'm sorry, so one of the worst things in public
One of the things that is the hardest, the biggest obstacle for us to achieving what we want out of public schools.
administration. They need more administrators that remember being in the field, remember what it's like to be in front of 30 students a day, you know, 8 classes a day, 7 classes a day, dealing with 100 different personalities, you know, and being able to manage those. On top of all the other requirements they're giving you of, you know, you got to document this, you have to do this. And part of our problems in public school, like all the aggression, I believe is they're not giving teachers the time to get to know their students anymore. You build relationships first, and that's how you students will buy into the education. You know, you become like a surrogate parent, uncle, cousin, and even the toughest inner city gangbangers, they don't want to let you down. If you've had their back and you're giving them something they never had, some attention, some love, you know, they want to work that hard to not let you down. So we just need teachers to have more freedom and more time with their students.
And then our final question today is thinking about the public education system in America in general. What would you say is the best thing about the public education system in the U.S., and what's the worst thing right now?
Oh, I think that the best thing is just the opportunities for everybody in public education, just solid, in general, resources, teachers, opportunities, as long as, you know, families and parents are on board to support their children. I think, you know, the sky's the limit in terms of what they can do, regardless of where they're coming from.
And what would you say the worst thing about public education in America is right now?
Probably just all the diverse attention on different agendas. I think if we kind of left it alone and let it take care of itself, mostly it would be fine, but everybody's got an agenda and pushing up, down, left, right, different colored stuff. It's like, you know, it's just getting in its face, and it's detracting from its mission.
What do you think is the best thing about the American public school system, and what do you think is the worst thing about our American public school system?
Oh, well, I say the best thing about the American public school system is just being able to just like educate everyone. Like being a public school and being free for families just enables to educate a wide variety of our youth until they choose to drop out. I'd say the worst thing is just teaching memorization over learning. So, and just we're taught to memorize facts and information. We're not taught to learn anything about our society and how it works and what we need to do to make it a better place.
I guess I would say if you look back, everybody goes to school, at least K through 12. What do you think works best about the American public school system, and what do you think is the biggest like systemic problem?
That is such a broad question. I feel like I could talk for hours. Can you repeat it for me one more time?
Yeah. What works best about K through 12 public education in the United States, and what is its fundamental flaw?
I would say what works the best is probably teachers. I know that there's been a lot of conversation about like AI and like streamlining education to just be this like everyone goes through the exact same process, but teaching is like it is a gift and it's a career. Like kids in classrooms need people who like are able to adapt and meet the needs of every student. Granted, like the means to do that, I think that is like the double-edged sword. The means to actually like meet all of your kids where they're at and give them what they need to be successful, like whether that's supports in certain subjects or extensions in others. It just seems really difficult to manage all of that in, especially when you're in like a 6 through 12 setting where they've got like 12 different teachers or 7 different teachers, because then you've got like 110 different kids and trying to meet all of their needs is only something one person can do, but it's something that is also an irreplaceable skill.
Excellent. Thank you again, Maria, and we appreciate you being on Schoolhouse Correct.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cool.